Allow me to reintroduce myself. Some people call me Prof, some people call me Yassin, but most people call me Narcy. I'm a multidisciplinary artist out of Montreal, Canada, but I belong to the world.
What is a new lesson you've learned last year?
Oh man. A new lesson I learned last year was probably to take my time and really like pace myself so I don't burn out. I tend to be like a runner when it comes to finishing the year and setting agendas for myself. So really just like slowing down and allowing, God's timing to take over whatever creative process I'm involved in.
It's funny because it's leading to another question we had is, as a multi-hyphenate, how do you divide your time, attention, and energy between your various occupations?
I don't divide my time. I exist in a space-time that nobody else exists in. No, I think like I tend to just let things overlap very naturally, whether it's my music, running the bookshop with Sundus, teaching at Concordia, or any of the other stuff like directing or the stuff that I take on that's kind of like not all the time. I let them bleed into each other naturally. So when I was working on the classes that were about these big superstars and learning about the process of America or fame or any of these, I started informing my own studies and my own approach towards creating music and the narratives that fit into there. When I'm at the bookshop and we're curating, whether it's the clothing or the books, I really try to get a pulse of what's happening in the world around me and what my students are going through. You know what I mean? So it's like always the same kind of like 360 experience. So I really don't have good time management, if that's the short answer for you.
Okay, perfect. You talked about teaching, and I saw that your classes usually talk about big people that had an influence in hip hop. And since hip hop was a guidebook for you, what songs resonate to you? Like, give me a top 3.
Top 3 hip hop songs of all time?
Well,
Holy shit! You should have sent these questions earlier. I wouldn't say these are like the top 3 songs, but they're very formative songs in my life, in no particular order. I think I would say Respiration by Black Star is very important for me. If I had to choose a song by Wu-Tang, it would probably be something off Wu-Tang Forever. And it would be like Triumph, but maybe not Triumph. I don't know, it's a hard one. Hold on, let me think about Wu-Tang. I'll come back to Wu-Tang. And then I think the third one would be something like Represent or It Ain't Hard to Tell by Nas, or even The Message by Nas. There's so many Nas joints. For me, Nas is almost like one big narrative, so I don't separate the songs all the time, but those 3 songs were very formative moments for me when I heard them, And then for my style as an MC, I would say when I heard Beware by Big Pun, that was really like, oh, holy shit, like you can really do something really crazy with the lyrical dexterity. So I think that's really it.
we're talking about Wu-Tang. You still have.
I haven't said Wu-Tang yet.
No.
Well, Wu-Tang is very hard because it's like Wu-Tang Forever is a moment for me. So if I had to pick one other song by another artist, it would probably be, Fear Not a Man by Mos Def, Yassin Bey. Like that is very much in tune with like my practice in Islam and also how I entered the industry and not really. I didn't come in with fear. I came in with love and purpose, so.
And as an Arab Canadian rapper yourself, what advice would you give to Arab creators in this day and age?
Don't be a rapper. No, I'm kidding. Just remain true. It's a very different space than when I started. So I had years of work where I wasn't on the internet. I was in real life touching people day to day with my music and like it was very organic. Now things are very digital. So my advice would be to not fall into the trap of attention culture in order for your music to not suffer in the long run. Because that early step into fame or that early step into attention culture can take away from the longevity of your creative force. So really like pace yourself when entering the game and just have fun with it, but remain yourself and remain humble.
Don't get lost in your path.
Don't get lost in the shawarma sauce by no means.
If rappers form a union, Western power will be really scared. How can rappers organize themselves politically?
Man, that's a very layered question. I think it's not about rappers, but it's about all black, brown, indigenous people who are creatives need to come together because our enemy is common and our struggle, there's a lot of commonalities between our struggle and our strengths and the ancient history that our cultures hold together. So whether it be rappers or producers or painters or designers or filmmakers, or we all need to stop letting the narrative divide us into these like subsections of racism or division or Islamophobia or anti-blackness, and really combine our forces together, because that's what's really going to change the system. When they see the power in numbers, and at the end of the day, if we all came together, we would not be the minority anymore. We would actually be the majority, and that would scare the shit out of the system. So
I did with the George Floyd a couple years ago. Like I saw it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even here around the world, how like it changed everything for some people.
And the same with what's happening now with Palestine. You know, you're starting to see people wake up to the absurdity of injustice that the system gets away with to all people of, you know, for lack of better words, all people of color. And I think like if we just came together under that umbrella and just promised each other that we would respect each other's space when entering a point of force, but at the same time stood beside each other and not in front or behind each other, then we would make a great difference to the system.
Nice.
Yeah.
The last question, why did you become who you are?
Why did I become who I am today? I mean, that's not on me, that's on Allah. Like that's the path that God put me on, you know? And I was blessed to have people like Sundus in my life and great friends and collaborators that opened space for me and allowed me to open space for them, and trusting my journey and the process over the end result, which didn't come to me till a couple of years ago. I always focused on the destination, but really, as corny as it is, it's really the journey that shaped who I am, and I'm still on that journey. So I wouldn't change anything. You know?
That's it.
That's ours.
Thank you guys.